Hi guys. Well, today it's a video from the workshop, my very little workshop I've set up here. And sorry, maybe you can hear that I have a kind of a bit of a cold, and never mind. What I want to talk about today, it's more kind of a bushcraft oriented video, because there's a tool I've always loved to have with me out in the wild, because it expands my capacity to build more tools or furniture for my outdoors cabin or stuff like that. And this tool is the auger, and I'm not sure how I pronounce it, if it's right or not, but the auger is pretty much a kind of a corkscrew, hand drill, stuff like that. And when I was young, I did purchase what I could find in the stores, and these are kind of shitty augers I could find at that time. They are really small, maybe used for self-defense, but it's not intended for that. But the problem was it was really way too small, and you know, you can't tap a birch tree with something like that unless you are very patient. And especially my problem was I wanted to build a mallet, a big mallet for woodworking out in the wild, pretty much like, yeah, I can quote Dick Proenneke, and yeah, if you've seen that video alone in the wilderness, you pretty much know why a tool like an auger can be an excellent tool. Now this one is one I've built about almost 20 years ago, something like that, and the only thing that I've changed recently is the not the mesh, this bit here, the drill bit, because well, it was just not sharp enough, and it was way too old, not easy to resharpen, and I did use bad metal at that time. But I wanted to share with you how I make one, because now here you can see, probably, I'm gonna check if you have a focus. Sorry, I'm a bit too close. Here you can see this is the old auger I've changed recently, the drill bit, and I'm gonna show you the other one that I've built for another purpose here. And if you check the point of the drill, you see the difference. You have like a small screw on here on the top part, and the reason why, the reason why I wanted to rebuild that and make this one, it's because, well, I needed the capacity of making 2.5 millimeters, 2 centimeters and a half wide holes in trees or in logs to build a cabin, and this is a 16 millimeters. And now I have a problem, not really a problem, and this is pretty much why I make the video today, is if I ever need to replace that handle, which is made out of beech tree. I did not take one from outdoors. I did really use one that I have available at home, a rod. Especially this one is not treated. This one has been treated for ages with wax and linseed oil. If for any reason that rod handle breaks, I need to be able to replace that on the field, and now I have this small one that allows me to make a hole of the size of the pin that holds it in place, and I needed another size to be able to make the hole the size of the drill here. Hard to get focus in here, I can see the display, but here, this is the auger that I will need for replacing my firstly made handle. So excuse me, a bit, need to change that. Okay, so as you can see, I found now drill bits for my for electric drills, basically, that have that kind of screw part on the top, and this is the best you can have if you want to use them out in the wild, because well, the simple reason is that it's way easier because it screws in the wood and then it keeps pulling the drill inside of the piece of wood you are making a hole in. Same for this one, but this one did work like a charm. You just have to add a lot more pressure to make your hole. Now in this video I'm gonna show you how I make mine for years now, and which is basically the way that I consider is the best for my needs. It did work like a charm, as I've said. This one has pretty much 20 years of use. Just replaced the drill, putting the pin I've made out from the handle and replacing. So I'm just gonna show you how I do that using what I have in my workshop, because well, this is my space where I build stuff, I repair stuff. I can show you as well that I've tried another way to stick that inside. Here you can see I've tried to flatten a piece of the drill and put it inside the rod, but it was way too much work for the result I did have. So now what I'm gonna show you is a way that I consider really easy. I will show you that with the tools I have at hand. You probably can do that with a simple drill bit and a bit more patience. Today it's well, it's New Year's this evening, so I will try to make that really quickly to show you, so that I can upload pretty quickly the videos on my channel. So guys, hang on, I'm gonna set everything up and show you how I do mine. So first thing is to cut the length of handle that I want. Say pretty much. So here we are about 15. Let's do 15 centimeters approximately. It will be fine, I think. Yeah. Okay, now just for decoration, I'm gonna make those two slits here. just gonna clean the edges a bit. Then basically what I need is a bit that is the right size for the auger I'm gonna insert inside the handle. This should do. And you take the measurement of the middle, which is pretty much 7.5. Yeah, exactly 7.5 here, because I've used 15 centimeters as a base, so now just have to drill that piece of wood. Sorry, forgot to refocus. Okay, now next thing I need to do when I have my hole down the middle of the handle is insert the auger. This can be a bit tricky sometimes, so I just up here, it's okay down the middle, it's flush. Don't know if you can see that here. It's pretty much flush. So now next part is to drill a hole through the wooden rod and then through the steel piece corresponding to that metal rod I have here, which is 4 mil thick. Here, this is pretty much what will hold the auger into the handle. So let's change the bit. Use a bit that is the same size as the one rod you are gonna use. I'm using a high-speed steel bit to go both through the wood and through the steel. Sometimes it makes a bit too much noise when the metal screams. Okay. So basically here what I'm doing is that middle is here. Okay, sorry. it a bit more height here. Okay, let's roll. Now going through a piece of metal. So now what you pretty much have here is the hole you can see through. This is where you're gonna put your pin. And now just measure the pin round the tip. I'm gonna show you that right now. Okay, so now the metal rod here. Okay, now I've cut the pin here. This one that is gonna go through the handle. Okay, so next step is putting the pin through the handle. Usually it's a bit stiff. Okay, this is why I'm using a hammer for that. Okay, so now you are almost done. What I do at that stage usually is just remove the metal from the leftover metal from it with the sanding machine. Just to be a bit quicker here, I'm gonna use here. Okay, so let's go to the next step. Okay, so now you are pretty much done with your preparation here. As you've seen, what you need is some piece of wood for the handle, an auger bit for an electric drill bit works fine. You may have to check that the steel that goes into the electric drill will not be heat treated, or you will have a hard time going through it with the drill bit. But here I've tested several, and this one is made by Bosch. I think so it's not that much of a problem. A wooden dowel, what you can add is some kind of glue or stuff like that. if you want to hold that in place, but here it's really snug and it won't go and fall apart. You need an electric drill, and that's pretty much it, a saw and stuff like that, but it's really easy to make. And of course, as I've said, a piece of steel dowel to make the pin here, and then you sand that until it's flush. Here I've messed a bit because the drill bit was a bit too short. Then some sandpaper just to have a really smooth handle here. Then last thing I add is some homemade wax, turpentine, and beeswax, turpentine, and linseed oil that I use on most of my leather and woods. You can find my recipe on my channel. And now let's find a suitable piece just to check how this performs. So how does it work? Here I really like the concept of the simple screw at the top of the drill, and here it just goes through like pretty much a corkscrew. And okay, I did mess it a bit because I'm too much in a hurry, but here you have the auger, and now my collection of augers is a bit bigger than before. I could have been really more careful and try to make better looking augers, but here this one doesn't count. But here I have pretty much all the sizes I may need for my woodwork. 25, 2 centimeters and 5 millimeters, one heavy. This one works well, as I've said, but it's not as easy as with those with the drill screw on the first part like that. But it's a 16 millimeters, and this is a 12 millimeters that will allow me to repair both of these, because they both have and need 12 centimeters hole. And then I have the smaller one that I use to drill for the pin if I need to replace that. So guys, thanks for watching and hope you enjoy. If you have any questions about how I make those, or if you need any advice, please feel free to ask. I'll be glad to help you and answer. Thank you for watching, and see you soon. Cheers.